Right, so here we go. Round 4 of the Guinness Six Nations. What a round. There was some good rugby on display. Plenty of tries, no red cards. That is an absolute plus. But let's take you through each of the games one by one. Starting off with Italy versus Wales. Absolute decimation in Rome. But look, there's only one team that have been able to put more than 50 points on Italy this Six Nations, and that is France. Both Wales and Ireland have managed 48, but only France breached 50. Having said that, Wales were the only team to keep them in single figures. So I suppose it's a bit of an omen for next week, isn't it? Defensively, Wales were better against Italy, and in attack, France were better. So next week on Super Saturday, we will see who the victor will be. Yeah, right. Anyway, let's get into the past, not the future. So, plenty of tries on display. Early doors, Wales utilised the width against Italy after losing their captain in the first 6 minutes to a yellow card. Adams went in the corner, and then Faletau went in the other corner, all in the space of 5 minutes, which really heaped that pressure on, losing 14 points while a man was in the bin. Ken Owens, he's only had six tries now in international rugby. 2 of them came on Saturday. Great dogged performance from the Welshman, and 2 tries in the 20th and 29th minute. The tries, though, just kept coming for Wales, with North, Sheedy and Rees-Zammit all adding to Wales's 7 tries in total. There was a glimmer of hope for Italy as they got one of their own on the 50th minute, but let's be fair, in the last 2 rounds, Italy have been the Italy we have known of old. Disorganised, disjointed, disinterested from this viewer. It wasn't a great display. It was a difficult watch, at times painful to watch a floundering Italian side. Right, game number 2, Le Crunch. Oh my frog's legs, what a game of rugby this was. So 90 seconds, well, I don't even think it was that. I think it was about 70 seconds into the game. DuPont has set Twickenham on fire. A beautifully worked try. I say beautifully worked. There was nothing structured about the try. So Teddy Thomas is on the wing, and he's running down his line, and in front of him is Anthony Watson. He's not going to step him. He's not going to do him for pace. So he goes over the top. As the ball bounces, DuPont's on the support line, parries it over Malins with his hand, and then catches it before dotting down and getting the try. And to be fair, the first half was 100 miles an hour. Really, really exciting rugby. 8 minutes after DuPont goes over, Anthony Watson's had enough of that, fires back with an exceptional try of his own, and the back and forth sort of continued for a little while. I'm pretty sure it was almost level at half time, when we would expect from this level of pace that we played at that the game was going to go a little bit more stretched, a little bit more tired. We were going to see more mistakes, and we did. It wasn't as good as the first half, but still very exciting rugby. I was on the edge of my sheet, on my seat. Christ. But yeah, really exciting rugby to watch all the way through, even with the ever so slightly controversial try right at the end of the game. The two teams 4 points adrift, with 5 minutes left on the clock, and after phase after phase after phase, Mario Toji goes over the line. He atones his sins in Cardiff. There were some question marks. Did he ground it? Didn't he ground it? The TMO had a look and was happy with it. I saw a grounding, I thought. In fact, I think at the time, what I said was, it's all very much dependent on the referee's question and his soft signal. For me, there wasn't enough evidence to overturn clear and obvious. So I'm assuming, because I didn't have the sound on, that the soft signal was a try, and TMO confirmed it. But a fantastic advert for rugby, and a real shame that there were no fans in the stand, because that place would have been bouncing. Oh my frog legs, what a game. Right, so on to the final game of the weekend, and this was the game that I was looking forward to the most. It was all to play for. Scotland could feel hard done by. Their last outing against Wales, they lost by a single point after a red card. Then they were hard done by because France couldn't stay out of a Waffle House, and they all got COVID. It was a real mess, so they had to have an extra rest week. It was a disaster for Scotland. So today was an opportunity to really go out there and show this competition what they're made of and get themselves back in some sort of fighting chance. And they probably would have won the game had they been able to throw a ball into the line out. At one stage, I saw the stats at 1 successful line out to 9 lost. And if you're just going to throw the ball away like that, what's the point? You may as well not bother even competing at the line out. Go 3-man, just throw it straight over the top and see what happens. But Scotland tried to persevere with the kick into touch for penalties, and then they'd lose the line out, or they'd knock it on. It was just a real disaster around the set piece for Scotland this afternoon, and probably really cost them 14 points. Another controversial refereeing moment. Frenchman involved again, Romain Poit. He's got a track record for controversial moments. Italy go over. There's bodies everywhere. Romain Poit sticks his head in to the ruck, finds a grounding, and awards the try. Isn't that what TMO's for? To be fair, you probably weren't going to see on the TMO. But if it was held up and then a double movement, for me, I don't think you can award that try, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I think probably that decision cost Scotland the game. Fantastic moments for Scotland when they did start to get going. They looked really good. They were on the back foot for a lot of the first half, but then they really came back into it and fought hard to get back on level terms. But again, Scotland's ill discipline is what's cost them this game. 3 minutes left on the board, and you give a penalty away in your own 22. Jonathan Sexton, Sexpest, is never going to miss in an empty stadium, and no pressure was felt as the ball sailed through to retake their lead and win by 3 points. Watching the post-match interviews, Stuart Hogg looked mortified that his team didn't go on to win, and to be fair, they really should have done. Was it poor management? Because it was quite clear that Turner was not having a good day with the Arrows. As I mentioned before, the line-out just wasn't working. Did he change his hooker in time? Had they secured 2 or 3 more line-outs with a different hooker, could we be looking at a different result? Who knows? But that does end Scotland's hopes of winning the championship. They are now out of the race, which is a shame, because 5 weeks ago, after they beat England, we were all, even the English, were screaming Scotland Grand Slam. Obviously got wiped off the table by Wales, but they were still in with a shout. All they had to do was have France beat Wales and then beat France, which they've done in recent history. But it wasn't to be. That's fine. Right, so that, in a nutshell, is what happened this weekend in the round 4 of the Guinness Six Nations. Next week is Super Saturday. 3 games, all on Saturday. Join us. We will be live. Do hit that subscribe and the bell. No, and the bell. Oh, and the notifications bell to be notified when we go live. Do follow us on Twitter as well, at Geeks Rugby. Even though we're Rugby Geeks, it was already taken. Right, thanks ever so much for watching. We'll see you around soon enough. And remember, face down, ass up. That's the way we like to rug.